Hi, my name's Dave Shortreed, and I'm going to record an audio file for the two sessions that I offered today on iPads at George J. Elementary. On the first session at 9, I had George J. Elementary staff and Cedar Hill Middle School staff, and at 1 o'clock I had James Bay Elementary, their whole staff. So when talking about using iPads in school, there's a framework and a vision that I want to frame our discussion inside of. It's the BC Education Plan. And I am a strong believer in what the BC Ed Plan is saying. That in 21st century learning looks much different, and there's a few elements that it focuses on. And today we're going to focus on two of the elements: personalized learning and enhanced learning through with technology, and seeing how we can use the iPad frame within that framework. And also that we're preparing our students for tomorrow. And at this point, I showed both groups my YouTube channel. It's Mr. Shortreed's YouTube channel for teachers. And the second last one at this point is called Microsoft Future. And amongst other videos, you can see the video that I showed the group to inspire them and to show them that a video where products are already in development and give them a window into what's possible for the future. So our current teaching pedagogy I wanted to frame for our workshop just really quickly is that there's integration and collaboration, and it's student-centered learning, that there's project-based learning and articles about that, and a motivation for that. It's differentiated learning inside of our classrooms because of all the different levels that are present. That transformational learning, the idea that learning is transformative. And finally, digital literacy is more the focus that I'm heading in with my tech plan at my school and with the use of our iPads. This quote, "Technology in the classroom is not the end goal. Enabling learning everywhere is the goal." And I liked how the emphasis was taken off of technology in that quote, that teachers are not going to be replaced, that classroom learning is not going to be replaced, but rather iPads and computers can act as a supplement to what's already going on in our classrooms and an additive to the teaching that's already occurring. That's how I'm framing our technology. So there's a standpoint that I would like to identify with how I'm operating inside my tech plan. So I recognize that there are unique teachers and EAs in our building, that there's a range of student ability inside of our school from school to school, and there's diverse classrooms from my school to another school. And also, because of that, there's personalized learning and personalized teaching. There is differentiated and creative instruction that's required, and unique school goals based on student population. So with that said, what I present today and what I'm suggesting is that there's not necessarily a universal application for technology in a classroom, but in every school there is something different that can be offered, and I'm just going to share what I feel like is useful is when I can share what I do, and you can choose to take what you want from it. So the steps to success for technology integration plan. This is a keynote that I saw when I was in Kelowna, Dr. Barrett Mossbacker. And the steps that he included is a model for me. So grounded in theory. So the BC Ed Plan, 21st century learning is how I'm grounding what I'm offering my students. Then the strong leadership. This has been an issue this year because of job action, but I really believe that there needs to be strong leadership as well. I'm heading up a tech committee in our school as soon as possible that we can help make decisions for our building. Third, and with that strong leadership comes a vision for innovation of what we want to do, and today I started to present my vision of what I'm hoping to get done and set for September 2012. And fourth, the courage. So I am identifying thresholds that teachers are dealing with and how to battle those problems so that it's not such a risk for teachers to try using education in their school and class. And fifth, that's a multi-year development. And that fifth point helped me lock in at the school that I am at, seeing that there is more work to be done, that this is my second year at the school, my first year with the iPad cart, and that there's lots more work to be done in terms of tech coaching, in terms of collaboration amongst the staff, and professional development. So where do we go from here for today? Well, you're the expert of yourself, your class, and your students. You know what is going on, you know your skills, and you know your students. So with that said, I want you to have a quick chat to someone or write to yourself a guiding question for yourself for this workshop. So I want you to be ready in a couple minutes to share out a few words. I'm going to be adding it to an app called Poplet, so that we can brainstorm a direction that would be most useful for you in this professional development. After the quick chat, we visited a couple of apps that I showed them. I gave them a hands-on opportunity to explore. Then I did some guided hands-on activity with a couple of the apps. And we talked about logistics and vision. There's quite a bit said, and this is what I ended up sharing at the end, that iPads follow a school-wide term goals. I think it makes sense to, whether you're covering informational text or presentation or fictional writing, that it follows with those school-wide goals because there's so much out there on the iPads. The cart that we have is big. We have many stairs, and so with this, I think that it's a good idea to either take the iPads out of the cart for the day and keep them in a different location, or sign out the room. And then third, said sign up with term changes if needed. And that way there can be equity amongst the staff, and that teachers are aware and can start to prepare, that they know they have a certain block on a certain day at a certain time. And so here is 5 ways to maintain a healthy appetite, with questions about how do I find my apps. Well, first I visit iTunes Store. It was one of my main places that I go. I'm looking at the top 50 educational apps inside of the education category in the iTunes Store. I'm looking at reviews and screenshots. I'm looking at people's blogs through Google and through Flipboard and through social media about iPads in the classroom, what apps they're developing, and which ones they're trying and testing. Through Twitter. Twitter is a new thing for me, but I found it's the best professional development that I can experience. I can go onto Twitter and have conversation with like-minded people who are in the exact same position as me, in a tech position at a school, and I can share resources focused on topics. And so the topic hashtag I've created is hashtag SD61Tech, and learning initiatives and admin and district executives are all engaging in conversation or surrounding our school district and the tech plan that's in place. Congratulations if you recognize that there was 5 ways and I only presented 4. This is the 5th monkey on an iPad, and my idea here was that there's in trial and error. I have several hundred apps on my computer, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. To download an app, to explore it, it only takes a couple minutes to download, and then if I don't like it, it's a quick little X, and then I can choose to keep it for future, or I can delete it if I really hate it. But there's nothing wrong with trial and error when it comes to exploring apps for my class. So criteria for app searching, this is also found on my blog, but 5 things to consider. Number 1, what kind of internal motivators are provided inside the app to keep them going and to give legs to the app. Number 2, what kind of levels are within the app. So in a differentiated classroom, I have to make sure that all levels of ability can participate in the app. The graphic quality is actually a criteria to consider, how fun it is and how much the students enjoy visiting. And then the iTunes review, so what does it say on iTunes? And then this download, I can't say enough about it. So limitations and challenges, this came up across our conversation with all the staffs. Here are a couple main ideas that I'm dealing with. Synthesizing ideas, so when putting intermediate students onto iPads to do research and getting them to put things in their own ideas, that seems to be a challenge because it's either copy or paste or it's going to pen and paper. and in both cases is not ideal, so I'm still working in that challenge. Classroom management, so dealing with having a bunch of kids on iPads on a personal device, making sure they're on task and engaged in the learning. Differentiated learners, so such a range of abilities, especially in our school climate. You have ESL learners and you have low incidence students, to make sure that everyone has something to do on a similar topic. Student production, handling, and assessment. So at this point, it's all about the process, not the product, and that students are creating things and leaving them on the iPads at this point. I haven't been printing. I haven't been sending them off. I do use Dropbox, but I haven't for the students yet. Cost of the apps is an issue because it's quite a bit of money that we've been given already for these tools, and to ask for more money or to even settle on which ones we want to buy is a bit of a risk. But the main point with cost of apps is the fact that there's no licensing agreement with Apple. So that means I have to times each app by 30 in order to buy them, and I'm not willing to take that step. Logistics and vision with the job action, we've had a really difficult time establishing how these are going to be used, and logistics on communicating with everyone. So we did move into my favorite apps. I gave them some guided time. I gave them the iPads to play with, so gave them some hands-on time. And these are the ones that I chose to share. They're kind of the top of all of my different categories. So ScribblePress is a great bookmaking app for K to 5. I'm using them in kindergarten and grade 1 for journal entries and drawings. Grades 2 and 3 for scaffolding, storytelling, kind of like a Mad Gab, and grade 4 and 5 for informational text and collecting research and making them into a digital book. Poplit Lite is a brainstorming app, a mind map that's free, and it's really versatile and really simple. Explain Everything is what this is made on, and I've had a great experience playing with it. It does cost money. I think it's $1.99. Plain Text is a really clean word processor that students can use to do some writing activities. Hungry Fish and Zoom are from the same app developer, and they're multi-leveled, great graphics, and work on mind math and number lines. Comic Strip is 99 cents, and you can make comics using pictures and bubbles, kind of like Comic Life. Rocket Speller works on spelling. You build pieces of the rocket every time you spell the word. Toontastic is a great storytelling maker. It teaches you elements of the story, and then you put it together, and you can put music and animation and record your own voice. So I've seen that students can write their own stories and read them and hear their voice back, or they can create it based on the story prompts. Blockwick is a soothing puzzle game that's not too engaging, stimulating, and is good for giving a student a break. And Superwise is $2.99 K-2 app about printing. So thanks for listening to my entire Explain Everything. You've made it to the end, and believe me, it was much more interactive in person, but I did want to offer this to my online friends and people who weren't able to be present today. So you can follow me on Twitter or look into my blog spot, and let's see how this uploads to online.